Good day, folks. Welcome to life. I hope everyone's doing great today. And no, I did not misspeak. I mean, welcome to life. Because, right now, as a country, we're going through some hard times. A lot of people are going through a lot of uncertainties with their job, with their finances, and all that jazz. And a lot of people out here are freaking out, talking about, there's a lot of people freaking out because of the state of the economy. I mean, first of all, let me start by saying this. And for those of you that are in your 20s or you're in your early 30s, as you get older, you're going to understand what I'm saying. If you look at the history of this country from an economic standpoint, I would say every 15 years or so, there's going to be some type of an economic downturn. It might be considered a recession. It might be called a depression. It might be called whatever the hell name that they can come up with. But I would say, on average, every 15 years, give or take, there's typically going to be some sort of economic downturn. There's typically going to be some sort of resets, as some people will call it, for those that want to be a little bit more positive. And right now, that's exactly what we're going through. We're going through a reset. And no, they have not at this point declared a recession, but I already told you guys how I feel about that. Now, I do believe we will be going into a recession. And if or when we do, understand one thing. It's not going to be the first one, and it is definitely not going to be the last one that we're going to go through. I mean, it's unfortunately, these type of circumstances are part of what happens in first world countries like this one. It is what it is. There's nothing anybody can do. Well, I'll take that back. Actually, there is. What I really mean to say is it's beyond any of our control. I'm talking about normal people. And honestly, it's not going to matter Democrat or Republican. I mean, because the last recession that took place, it took place under Republican leadership, President Bush. I remember those days as clear as daylight. Everybody was mad at President Bush. President Bush this, President Bush that. Everybody was so glad to get Bush out of the White House. Everybody was so happy to have Obama. For those of you that are around my age or in your 40s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So honestly, regardless of the political party, I would say give or take every 15 years or so, there's going to be some sort of an economic downturn, some sort of an economic reset that's going to take place. And this is the reason why that whenever times are good, it's good practice to set at least 15% of your income aside in some sort of a savings, in some sort of mutual fund, so you can build that compound interest. That way, when times like these happen, you at least have a little bit of a nest egg. Now, obviously, for all the younger folks out here that may have not really had an opportunity to save any money because you're young, you're just getting started, you just got out of college, you just got out of high school a few years ago, whatever the case might be. Obviously, for younger people, times like these are going to be extra hard because they haven't had a chance to save money. And there's also a lot of speculation going on online of which is worse. Is what's going on worse than '08? Some people would say what's going on now is worse than '08. Some people would say '08 was worse. Like the other day, I was watching a little bit of Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels, I'm pretty sure you guys know who he is. He's a sizable YouTuber. He's got a few different channels. But I was watching on my way to work. I was watching one of his videos, and he was explaining why the '08 recession was worse than what's going on now. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh wait, it's worse or right now it's worse. As far as which one is worse, I'm gonna say this. It depends on the person. It depends on the circumstance. I mean, I would say for me, at this point, I would say '08 for me was probably worse because when it happened, it's the first recession I've been through. I didn't have no money saved up. I was doing a lot of foolish spending with my money. So basically, during '08, during that last recession, I got caught with my pants down. Now, for those that were in a similar situation to me back in '08, and now today, you got a little bit of money. You may not be wealthy, you may not be rich, but you got a little bit of something. You know, you got a paid off house or something like that. You know, for those of you that are in that position, you're thinking, okay, well, right now it's not as bad as '08. Some of you might think right now it's just as bad as '08 because your financial situation might be the same now as it was in '08. So I would say as far as which one is worse, '08 or what's going on now, I would say a lot of it depends on the individual and their circumstances. I would say that. And the reason why I started off my video today, uh, welcoming you guys to life, is because it just dawned on me that, you know what, we all can sit around and we can complain about the economy, we can complain about our jobs, we can complain about the leadership. I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. It don't make a difference as far as I'm concerned at this point. I mean, we can sit around and do all this complaining. We can sit around and consume our minds with negativity. And at the end of the day, the question that we all have to ask ourselves is, what exactly are we going to accomplish by complaining? What exactly are we going to accomplish by what are we going to accomplish by complaining? What are we going to accomplish by being mad? I mean, if we're mad, are we going to be mad enough to do something about it? Like, and when I say do something about it, I mean, however it is that you want to live your life, are you going to be mad enough to do what you got to do to live how you want to live? And that was the kind of question I was asking myself. I mean, I was asking myself that question earlier. It's like all this complaining that I'm doing about my job, all this talk about how bad the economy is. I mean, okay, that's fine, that's good. But at the end of the day, what good is it going to do me to continue to complain about my job? I mean, yeah, it does make some good conversation. Yeah, a lot of people like to listen to that type of stuff because it's all over YouTube anymore. It seems like every day when I wake up and I look for something to listen to on my way to work, there's always somebody popping up with a new video talking about they got fired, talking about their 9 to 5 job sucks, talking about we're doomed. We're getting ready to be in a recession. The housing market is doomed. On and on and on. And there's got to be a point to where, okay, it's bad out here. Get it, got it. Now the bigger question is, what are we going? What are we going to do about it? I mean, like I said earlier, as far as it goes for what's going on with the economy, there's not much any of us normies can do. However, as far as how we want to live our life moving forward, there is something we can do. Now, obviously, it might be a little bit more of a challenge than before because of the job market, but there's still something that could be done. It's just a matter of getting out there and getting after it and getting it done. and doing the best that we can do with the resources that are available. Now, there are quite a few of you that have suggested that I go earn my CDLs and be a truck driver since I like to travel. And I don't know. I mean, I kept on being like, nah, I don't want to be no truck driver. I really don't want to go over the road. It's not my cup of tea. That's not the kind of traveling I want to do. And I still feel like that. However, I got to thinking today, you know what? The job I'm working, it really doesn't pay that well. And I'm driving an hour and a half round trip to get to and from work. And plus I got, plus I got bad feet. So I was thinking, you know what, maybe I should go ahead and earn my CDLs and see what I can do out here as far as work. Maybe I should. Because a lot of people, a lot of seasoned truck drivers, I've talked to a couple of them, and they told me that if I get that couple of years of OTR experience, then I should be good to go for a decent local job at some point. That's what I've been told by a couple of drivers. So I got to thinking, you know what? Maybe I might go for my CDLs. Because at some point, in order to have what we want in life, at some point, we're going to have to do a few things we really don't want to do. Now, I was seriously hoping in my case that I have graduated from having to do things that I don't want to do. But due to inflation, I'm going to just keep it real with myself, and I guess I'll keep it real with you guys. I'm going to still have to get out here and do things I don't want to do, at least for the time being. So unfortunately for me, I have not graduated. I don't know the wording, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to still have to get out here and do things I don't want to do to live how I want to live moving forward. Because I was seriously hoping the hard work that I've done before I came here to Alabama was going to be good enough. But to be honest, no, it's not good enough. It's not even close to good enough. Because I sat down, I went over my money, I thought about things that I wanted to do with my life. At some point, I even thought about traveling overseas. Not necessarily to move overseas, but to go there maybe for a couple of months at a time or so and just check things out. And all that, of course, costs money that I really don't feel comfortable spending at this point. But so yeah, there's a chance I'm gonna probably go for my CDLs just so I can earn better money and I can in the future live how I want to live. And I'm thinking with some of the money I make off of being a truck driver, I might, hopefully the housing prices go down, and if they do, which I'm pretty sure they will, I'm going to try to put myself in a position to where I could buy me a couple of houses or a few houses and make some money. So yeah, and also, I gotta admit, me going back out here and doing traveling blogs, it does help me. It does help my mood. It really does. So, for those of you that miss my traveling blog videos and you suggest that I go back out here and do them, I thank you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. For those of you that went back on my channel and you were watching my traveling blogs, again, I thank everybody that's been doing that, and I can't thank you guys enough either. And I noticed, so like I said, I noticed ever since I've been back out doing traveling blogs, it's like a whole nother part of me has came back. The part of me that wants to get out here and do something. The part of me that wants to, yeah, the part of me that wants to get out here and do something as opposed to sitting around here and complaining, that part of me has came back. And secondly, I've been going to the gym. I mean, right now, I'm going to the gym every other day. I'm trying to get my body used to working out on a regular basis again. But right now, I go to the gym every other day. On days I don't go to the gym, those are days I'm out here, driving around, going to different cities to create content for the channel. And of course, now that it's warmer outside, I gotta attend to my yard. So I'm a pretty busy person. So, anyways, but I noticed ever since I've been working out, right now I'm working out, I work out every other day. Ever since I went out and I began to do traveling blogs again, I noticed that, like I said, man, there's a whole nother part of me that used to be within me that temporarily left me. And it seems like that part of me has came back. And now I'm to the point where, you know what? I don't want to complain about the economy. I don't want to complain about politics. Because it's not going to do me any good to do that. I rather look for actual solutions to make my life better. However it is I want to live my life, I'd rather go out here and look for solutions to live a better life. That's just where I'm at. I don't care about the recession. I really could care less. It is what it is. It's going to happen regardless. Whatever happens, happens. I could care less. Like I said, no more complaining. No more crying about the recession. No more crying about my job. If I don't like my job and I get fed up, I choose to quit or whatever the case might be, I'll let you know when I do it, and that would be that. And honestly, when it comes to a job, it would be nice to have a job that makes you happy and it makes you feel good or whatever the case might be. And there's people that do have that. But at the end of the day, for most people, for the purpose of your job is to go make your money, pay your bills, take care of business at home. For most of us, that's why we go to work. It is what it is. And another thing that helps me out, I notice, which I need to start doing more, is, me, I love hip hop. I'm gonna just keep it all the way real. I love hip hop. I love all genres of hip hop. I just love hip hop. Like before I started recording this video, there's a song I was listening to. It's a classic. It's from Paul Wall. I think the song was called. I can't think what the song was called, man. I'm gonna be real with you people. I can't even think what the song was called. The song was called I Gotta Get This. That's what the song was called. And that song came out in 2009. And funny enough, that song came out during the last recession. So, for those of you that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about and you're wondering, you know what, this is what you do. When you get done watching my video, go on YouTube, type in Paul Wall 2009, and that album will come up. And he's got a song called Gotta Get This. I think that's what it's called. It's Gotta Get This. But go check it out. Go listen to it. It's a good song. So if you're down in the dumps about your situation, listen to that song, and I guarantee when you get done listening to that song, you will feel a lot better. Maybe you might, maybe you might have a complete change of heart when it comes to dealing with what's going on right now in this country. Rather than sitting around and feeling sorry for yourself, feeling sad, feeling miserable, being anxious, maybe you might have the attitude of, you know what, yeah, we're going to be in a recession, but you know what, whatever, fuck it. I'm going to go out here, I'm going to get mine, I'm going to get that bag, I'm going to do what I got to do to make my life better. Whatever resources are available, I'm going to take advantage of all those resources, and I'm going to do what it do. There's not going to be no more complaining about the recession, upcoming recession. There's not going to be no more complaining about politics. Yeah, I hate my job, but you know what? No more complaining about my job. I'm just going to go in, do my work, get my money, and take care of my finances at home and be working on something better. So yeah, that's where I'm at this point. So between me listening to some positive hip hop, working out, and going back out and doing my traveling blogs, I feel 100% better about life. I really do. At this point, I no longer want to complain about nothing because it's not going to do me no good. Whatever I don't like, I'm just going to just be a man. I'm going to deal with that stuff, and, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. All right, folks, that's going to be the video today. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Stay blessed.